Welcome back, and in this video let's work with some distribution. Sometimes you might hear about FOIL, which I'm talking about FOIL. I would say this way people call distribution in United States, but around the world we just call distribution. So you don't have to actually follow the order of the first and then outside, inside, and the last. I actually had to learn it myself when I came to United States. So in general, we call distribution. And distribution means you need to multiply corresponding terms and just don't forget any pair. Simple as that. For example, this is how I usually do it. And this is very, very personal. Everyone do it differently because people see numbers and things differently. So I take the first term and multiply it by the first term, and then the second term, and then the third term, and then the sixth term, and then the fifth term, and so on until I'm done. When I'm done, I will take the second one and repeat the process. And that's how I know that I will not miss anyone. So let's do it this way. But again, you can pause right now, do it your own way, and then compare the answer with my answer. So in orange color, I will multiply y. Y times the first term in the second parenthesis, here it is, gives me y times y, plus y times the second term in the second parenthesis, that's -6. And as you can see, I put parentheses like this, which is very nice because then I will not make mistake in the future. I'm done with y, so I will move to the blue color to start multiplying everything with 1. Plus 1 times y plus 1 times -6. Simple as that. So of course you can skip all these parentheses and just write down right away. If in your mind you can do it faster, that's amazing. Y times y is y squared, then y times -6 is -6y, plus 1 times y is y, then 1 times -6 is -6. You can write it down right away if you can. That will speed you up quite a lot. Then let's simplify. To simplify, I will take a pencil or a different color and then underline terms I can collect. Y squared minus 6y, but plus y is -5y, -6, and that is the answer. The answer or the result of this distribution is a quadratic function. Let's repeat it again. Z plus 7 times z minus 7. So either I'm going to be distributing everything right now, and you can see it's still possible and not too hard, or I will use the formula and I will write it down for you. Two formulas you need to know really, really well. The square of sum or the difference, a plus b squared, also it can be minus, is you square the first term, then you add or subtract, depends on plus and minus p's, double product of the first term and the second term. Then you add the second term regardless of the sign, you always add it. This formula should be known really, really well. You will see it quite everywhere. And the second formula I want to know is difference of squares. A squared minus b squared is a minus b times a plus b. This is the formula. This formula is super popular as well, and it goes both directions. So in our example, and I will call it formula number 1 and formula number 2. In this example we're working with, we're gonna look at formula number 2. Do you see any pattern? Z plus 7 times z minus 7, and then a plus b times a minus b. Seems like it's a second formula. So I will have second formula here. The formula says if you have a minus b times a plus b, then just square each term and put minus between them. This minus here dictates who goes first, a minus b. So z minus 7 tells me that z squared will be first minus 7 squared. And the answer is z squared minus 14. Oh, why 14? 7 squared is 49. I'm checking that you're paying attention. So put this in the box. However, if you're taking an exam and you don't remember this formula, that is completely fine. There's so many formulas to learn, and it's just convenient to know it. As you can see on the test, I would finish this problem in 1 second. But if you don't remember it, then just distribute. So that was way 1. Way 2. Let's distribute. Z times Z is Z squared. Z, so I'm doing my way, as you know. I first gonna finish with the first term. Z times negative 7 is minus 7Z. The first term is all done, so I'm doing the second one, that's 7. 7, I'll put it in blue. 7 times Z, that's plus 7Z. 7 times minus 7 is minus 49. Simplify. Z squared cannot be simplified, that's Z squared. But minus 7Z and plus 7Z gives you 0. 49 stays as 49. So you decide which way is faster. Technically speaking, it all depends on the practice and your brain being capable to give you the formula when you're actually asking for it. Because you know how our brain can freak out during the exam and just completely blank out. That's very typical and normal. Don't be ashamed of that. We all have those cases. 17. For the 17, we are working with V minus 4 squared. That's the formula I just showed you. That's the square root difference. This formula tells you that you will have to square the first term, that's V squared, minus, because of the minus here, double product of both terms. So I'll put 2, that's part of the formula. Then double product gives me V times 4. Plus, formula says you add at the end, 4 squared. Then the answer becomes V squared minus 2 times 4 is 8. So it's 8V plus 4 times 4. That's 16. And that is the answer. The square of the difference. That's what we just did. Now, in this case, we're going to be distribute to remove parentheses. Again, I will take this term and multiply it carefully by each term in the parentheses, checking carefully all the signs and multiplying numbers. But I will do it slowly for you. 4y to the 5, put parentheses, multiplied by 2, minus 4y to the 5, parentheses, multiplied by negative 7y squared. Now our job is to carefully simplify that. Let's do it. Well, the first couple is actually not too bad. 4 can be multiplied by 2. So 4 times 2 is 8. 8y to the 5. And that's all we could do. Now be very, very careful. Either you first multiply everything in these parentheses and then factor in the negative sign outside, or you multiply negative sign right away. So let's do it this way. I know the students making quite a lot of mistakes with the negative sign in front, so I'll put negative sign and then multiply everything inside. This way I will have 4 times negative 7. That's negative 28, as you can see. So I'm going to have negative 28. Then y to the 5 times y squared. Oh, I see. It's actually not supposed to be double negative. Why did I put that negative? That was supposed to be positive. I'm wondering where this negative even came from. Why this thing is negative? Good job if you pointed this out. This is positive, 4y squared. So if I'm doing it slowly step by step, then I should put plus here and parentheses. Then it's even a little bit easier. It will be plus, and I don't need these parentheses anymore. And I will have 4 times negative 7, that's negative 28. And then I will have y to the 5 times y squared. That can be simplified. It will be simplified as y8 to the 5 minus 28, y 5 plus 2 or 5 times 2. Remember the properties of exponents. You need to add them. So 5 plus 2 is 7. And that's the answer. Good job. Last example here. We're going to repeat this process but a little bit faster. Let's try to be fast. You can go together with me and see if you're faster than me. So I'm distributing negative 6w to the 6 times negative 3w squared. That's the first couple. Then I will have plus negative 6w to the 6 times 2w, that's the second couple, plus negative 6w to the 6 times 5. It's very good if you can skip some of these steps, but as you can see what I did, since I have 3 terms in the parentheses, I did 3 couples by factoring in minus 6 a to the 6 inside. And I did it just one by one, like this, saving all the parentheses to make sure I will not mess up with the negative sign. Now we will simplify. Negative 6 times negative 3 is positive 18. 8, can you skip the step now? 8 to the 6 times 8 squared is 8 to the 6 plus 2. 6 plus 2. 6 plus 2 is 8. So it's going to be to the 8. Done. Now I have minus 6 times 2 and the plus in front of it. So it's going to be minus 12. 8 to the 6 times w to the 6 times w. That's going to be w to the 7. So again, w to the 6 times w. That is w to the 6 plus 1. That's to the 7. And finally, minus 6 times 5 becomes minus 30 w to the 6. And that is the answer. Not too bad. So hopefully you understood all the steps, and your job is definitely to remember these 2 formulas I just showed you. The earlier you learn them, the easier your life is going to be. So I highly recommend this to you to do it right now. Then your exams will be faster. You do not have to always distribute or FOIL. Sometimes you can just use this formula and it works like a charm. Here it is. We use it for the example number 16. Thank you for watching and see you next time.